If we were to take a step back and say, what is it that you would like to tell your son or daughter that you're proud of in them? That you see that Allah has given them a gift. Something that validates them, makes them feel like they're proud. How many sons and daughters around the world are there starving, dying, for the one time their mom or their dad will say, son, I'm proud of you. Daughter, I'm proud of you. Allah has given you such a talent. Allah has blessed you. I am so proud to call you my son or my daughter. There are people that die for this, and they don't get it from their parents. And even if they get it, like if, for example, one time the daughter decides that she's going to cook something for the first time. She's going to learn to cook to make her mom proud. And she finally learns to cook and make something good, and everybody likes it. The mom says, it's good. Finally, huh? Had to throw something in. You have to throw something, because it took you long enough. Couldn't make anything else, right? You have to throw something negative in, not just the positive. On the one hand, what we learn from the legacy of Yaqub alayhi salam is we can't make our children blind to the negative around them. But we don't make them feel like they're worthless. We have to validate them. We have to inspire them. We have to give them positive words. Those few positive words you say to your children and you say to your family, you don't know what dark environment they find themselves in, and those words are the only reason they don't fall into darkness. You see? That's a pretty critical thing. It's a really serious thing. I would give this khutbah in theory, but I've seen it. I've seen young people make the most terrible mistakes in their life and resent their parents. And when you dig down into it, when they're engaged in all kinds of haram, you would think I should give them a conversation about don't do haram, fear Allah, you should fear the akhirah, etc. Yes, all of that's true, but there's something else going on that led them down that dark path. What led them down that dark path is, man, my dad always criticized me. All I heard at home was something negative, so I just didn't want to deal with it. When the shaitan is able to create that negativity inside the home, then young people, your sons and your daughters, are going to find friends and find environments where people appreciate them, where people like something about them, where people make them feel comfortable, where people make them feel validated. They feel like they're worth something here. When they find that, you'll find that they're spending less time at home, more time outside. Less time at home, more time outside. And by the time they're old enough and they're coming home at 2, 3, and 4 in the morning, and you're losing your mind, what's happening with you? They say, I can't talk to you. I don't want to deal with your negativity, Mom. I can't deal with your comments. Please save it. And you're in shock. What just happened? My child was so good. They were so quiet. They never talked back. And all of a sudden, look at how they're talking to me. Maybe I should take them to the Imam. Maybe I should take them to somebody and they can recite some Quran and blow on them and then they'll be fine. That's not what happened. You weren't there to validate them when they were younger. You weren't there for a real conversation when they were younger. This will brew inside them silently until it erupts eventually. That's human beings. That's not just your child or my child. That's human beings. That's human nature. And so what we're learning in the surah is something very powerful. By the way, by contrast, it's not just positive words that Yusuf alayhi salam experiences. He experiences negativity too. His brothers don't like him. I'm sure he hears negative things from his brothers. And many years later, after surviving all of those trials, he's a minister. And his brothers are standing in front of him. And they don't even know that that's their younger brother that they tried to kill. They have no idea. And when the entire fiasco happens with his youngest brother being accused of stealing, what did these brothers say? Listen to this carefully. What did they say even then? They said, قَالُوا إِنْ يَسْرِقْ فَقَدْ سَرَقَ أَخٌ لَهُ مِنْ قَبْلِ. They said, they're standing in front of Yusuf. They don't know it's Yusuf. And they're looking straight at him and saying, oh, if this one stole, he used to have a brother. He had a stealing problem too. They're telling Yusuf that Yusuf was a thief. And they don't even know they're insulting him to his face. Meaning they used to be degrading and demeaning before. And what does Allah say about Yusuf alayhi salam? He says, when he heard these words, فَأَسَرَّهَا يُوسُفُ فِي نَفْسِهِ. Yusuf kept the feelings he had to himself. The rage he felt, the sadness he felt, the cut and the slander he felt from his own family, he kept it to himself. وَلَمْ يُبْدِهَا لَهُمْ. And he didn't let them see even the look on his face. He kept control and calm. And said to himself, قَالَ أَنْتُمْ شَرٌّ مَكَانًا. You're even worse than you used to be. You're even worse. Meaning Yusuf alayhi salam remembers the pain they caused back then. He's an adult. He's gone through many negative things. He's gone through being sold as a slave, falsely accused, years in prison. But Allah never mentioned that he kept pain inside him. or let out some complaint. But now, when his own brother spoke, the pain came out again. Meaning human beings are capable of tolerating a lot of difficulty from the outside. But the difficulty that family brings to family is much more difficult to swallow. It's much more difficult to overcome. That's the hardest kind of pain. So the positive words that come from family are more important than anybody else. Some of you have a master's degree, some of you are accountants, some of you are engineers, doctors, whatever you are. When you go to the office, people are proud of you. Wow, you're so incredible. Your parents must be so proud of you. Your family must be so proud of you. People want to take a picture with you. People want to just praise you at work, how eloquent you are, how smart you are, how this you are, how that you are. Those praises come to you and they fall off of you because they don't mean anything. Because when you go home, your family, your own family tells you, you're worthless, you're a disappointment, why couldn't you be more like your brother? Why couldn't you be like this? We should have done this, you should have done that. You call that a real job? That's not a real job. You call that a degree? That's not a real degree. This is what family does. And then all those accomplishments mean nothing, because when they mean something is when validation comes, supporting words come from the family. Be careful of these words, they're an amana. These children that we have, this family that we have, the way we speak to them, you have to be very careful. If you have nothing good to say, stay silent. Just don't say anything. And if family is being negative towards you, it's okay. Just walk away. Don't engage with it. Be like Yusuf, keep it to yourself and let it go. Because nothing good will come of furthering that kind of negativity for yourself. We have to take a good look at how we conduct ourselves in our family. Especially the sensitive words we use with our children and what effect it can have long-term in their personalities. What will they turn into? There are people I met, they were called certain names when they were children, and they literally said to themselves, well, that's what my parents think of me, that's how I'm going to act anyway. Because that's what I really am, right? Because who would know me better than my parents? They made that into an excuse to ruin themselves. But it started with them being scarred as kids.